Hello guys, full time at the Emirates Stadium, Arsenal 0, Crystal Palace 0. Not gonna lie, quite a boring game. I think it must have been pretty dire for a neutral. Not a huge amount of goal mouth action at either end. Arsenal just about made it into double figures for attempts at goal, but it'd be difficult to say that any of them were too dangerous. In fact, I think Palace probably threatened the Arsenal goal more. A couple of good interventions from Bernd Leno, one good save from Header particularly. Yeah, boring, very boring. Quite typical, I suppose, of what we've seen from Arsenal this season. You can't talk about this game without talking about some of the absentees. Kieran Tierney was, I think, the big one. Obviously at left back, he's been superb. Although, to be honest, he had to get a rest sooner or later. He played an insane amount of minutes, and Arsenal have a bit of a problem at the left back position because with Kolasinac having gone out on loan, your next backup is Maitland-Niles probably, but he's a very, very, very different player to Tierney and someone who doesn't provide anything like the same threat on the overlap. I think the absence of Tierney really affected the balance in the team. It wasn't just that. You've got to bear in mind that Pablo Mari was out as well, which meant we had David Luiz on the right-hand side. So you've lost two left footers immediately out of your back four, which I think affects how you build up play, affects how you exit. Then on the left-hand side, you've got two right footers, Maitland-Niles playing behind Aubameyang. Both of them want to go in field. And I just think that affected the pattern, it affected the shape. In the second half, Arteta changed it. He put Saka in at left back, Pepe at the right wing. I wondered from reflection it would have been better to start that way. But he probably thought, look, Saka on the right, Smith Rowe at number 10, that's been really working, let's keep it going. Play Aubameyang off the left, Lacazette up front. The truth is we barely saw anything of those players because Palace were very well organised and we just didn't progress the ball sufficiently. And actually, it's a funny one, I watched this game and I thought Ceballos had a fantastic start to the game and I thought Granit Xhaka had a pretty good game as well. I think some people have made their minds up on Xhaka and sort of won't see any good that he does from this point on. But for me, I think he was good. I just think that we couldn't find the invention required to break Palace down. And I think a lot of that is to do with the performance of Maitland-Niles, who was poor. I don't think Hector Bellerin was anything like his best, and I think we needed him tonight. It was a game that was crying out for someone like Nicola Pepe. He came on, found it difficult. I mean, I'm not meaning to pick on individuals, but we weren't able to keep the ball progressing at the speed we needed to, particularly once we got into the final third. I mean, if I think about Smith Rowe's involvement in this game, it's usually him chasing backwards to try and regain possession, which tells you, we just didn't get him into good enough areas frequently enough. This was familiar problems. I think we missed Gabriel Martinelli terribly. I think if he was fit, there would be a very good case that he should be starting over Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. I know he doesn't solve the issue of a left foot on the left-hand side, providing width that way, but his energy, his movement, his intensity of his performance was missed tonight. What else to say? A couple of observations. I think Eze of Crystal Palace is a really lovely footballer. I think he's exactly the kind of guy you look at and you wonder, could Arsenal have done that deal? London boy, he was at Arsenal as a kid until he was 13. Technically very good, can play on the left, can play in the middle, has energy, has a sprint if he needs it, glides with the ball. I like him. Yeah, the left back question is one that's going to linger. Is Maitland-Niles the best solution? What are Arsenal's other options? Do we use Cedric there? Do we look at promoting somebody like Lopez? Do we have to bring somebody in the transfer market? And something else to note, Arteta made the point the other day in his press conference, we're going to keep trying with Willian. Well, he didn't get off the bench today, did he? So I think that tells you a bit about where he is in Arteta's thoughts right now. I'm going to leave it there because it wasn't the most interesting game. But hopefully we get something better on Monday. Oh, one more thing. I do have this kind of nagging feeling of just like, well, is this just sort of who we are? something very mid-table about Arsenal at the moment. And I look at our recent run of form and I think, well, mid-table teams have bad runs. Mid-table teams have good runs. Mid-table teams draw games at home. We're not as bad as we looked in our bad run. We're not as good as we looked in our good run. We are average. And I think we're still adjusting to that reality. But increasingly, I think it might be a reality. Cheerful note on which to end. Speak to you soon, guys. Bye-bye.